Hey gang! How many of you have gone to a transgender convention or cross-dressing convention or conference in the United States? Put it in the comments if you've gone, and let's start a discussion about these things and get people more information about them, you know, first-hand information. I want to give you guys a list of all the transgender conferences of this year, and most of them will be running again next year as well. The dates might not be exactly the same as they are this year, so the ones that have already gone by, you know, from January up until this point in August, you know, you can look for them online and find them. Now, why would I do this? You can go online and find this stuff, but I think it's important to hear that you hear it from somebody that's attended a couple of these things, you know, over the years, and how much fun they are, and how much education there is, and how relaxing they can be. And of course, if anybody saw my videos about the Keystone Conference in Pennsylvania, you learned in those videos how much, you know, how busy it was during the day and how many services they have to offer. And I think if you are a cross-dresser and you want to get away for a weekend or for a few days, these things are a great opportunity. And now we have a new one, Free to Be She Cruises from crossdresstravel.com. And that's a really cool one now on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. A little cross-dressing getaway. And I'll get started. In January, and it's always in the last weekend of January. So in 2020, it'll be the last weekend of January, Super Bowl weekend, I think, or just before Super Bowl, is First Event. It's called First Event, and it is in Boston, Massachusetts. Boston's still in Massachusetts, right? Yeah, Boston, Massachusetts. It's probably, and if I'm wrong, put it in the comments and educate me. It's probably the biggest transgender conference in the United States, and there'll probably be over 1,000 people there next January. And it runs for like 4 days. And just all kinds of stuff about education and acceptance and entertainment, and you know, I think I'm going to go to the one in January 2020 because I'm going to try some of that East Coast seafood. Now, the Keystone Conference, I would call that the second major conference of the year, and that's in March. And that's a 4-day event, and it's in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. And I went there last year, and I had a blast. It's very, very educational. They had some great keynote speakers at the lunches and the dinners, and I made a lot of new friends and did some networking. And I think that you know, that's a really cool place to go. There aren't a lot of airlines that fly into Harrisburg or the airport close to Harrisburg, I think it is. So you're kind of limited on who you got to fly with to get in there. But a lot of people drive. We drove. It was like an 11-hour drive for me, I think, and it wasn't bad. Okay, now there's 3 parties. They're not really like conventions or conferences. I would call them parties, and they're in Vegas, in Las Vegas, Nevada, every year. And one of them is in April, Divas Las Vegas. That's been going on for quite a while, and lots of trans girls go there, cross-dressers, whatever, and they party in Vegas for a while. In May is Wild Side. That's the name of that one. And that one, a lot of friends of mine went to that one this year. It looked like a really good time. They posted some video on Facebook of about 150 of them going into the Cosmopolitan Hotel en masse in a parade, and it was over the top, you know. It was crazy, and you know, but just a lot of support and a lot of fun. It's Vegas. And then in October is TG Rocktober. And you can imagine, I think that would probably be my choice if I was going to go to one of those parties, because it's probably a little cooler in October there than it is in May. But the girls look like they're having a good time in May. A lot of scantily dressed trans girls in that one. Okay, another one in April is called Trans Ohio, and it's a transgender and ally symposium, and it is in Columbus, and there's over 250 people there last year, and another good one. In May you have the Esprit Gala, which is in Port Angeles, Seattle, near Seattle, Washington. That's a big one too. I emailed them to see if I could get attendance for it, and they haven't responded to me. But that one runs in 2020. It's running May 10th through the 17th. It's a big one. It's a week long. It looks like a lot of fun. They got a website. Check them out. A lot of these people can be accessed on Facebook. They have Facebook pages as well. In Manchester, United Kingdom. I know I talked about the United States, but I have a lot of subscribers from the UK. And they probably know about this one. It's called Sparkle, and it looks like it's an all-inclusive trans conference for children and parents and allies and things like that. Jumping to August, we have the Gender Odyssey in San Diego, California, August 1st through 4th. So that one just ran a couple weeks ago, and that's basically for parents and children and trans children and their parents. In Miami in August, we have Southern Comfort, and that one moved to Miami from another state. It used to be another state in the South. I don't want to say which one. Somebody tell me in the comments, but it's been around for a lot of years. Okay, it's a well-established conference, and I'm sure that one's a good time. All of these conferences have seminars, they have workshops, they offer scholarships to folks that can't afford them, and they also have, like, a lot of them have these like mentoring systems where you have like a big sister that will kind of escort you around and help you if it's the first time you've ever been out. And they're all protected areas. I have never heard of an issue happening like where these things get targeted by any haters or anything like that at all. It's kind of nice. They could be. It wouldn't be hard for a hate group to find the list that I found on the internet, but they don't seem to bother people. They don't seem to bother us. I've attended 3 of these things over the years, and we used to have one in Chicago. We don't have it anymore, so I'm not going to talk about it. We used to have one in Chicago, and I attended that one several times. Never have any issues with anybody. They're a lot of fun. Fantasia Fair is in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and it is the longest running transgender conference in the world. They've been doing this since 1975. It runs October 20th through the 27th of this year. And that Provincetown, Massachusetts is like an LGBT haven, an isolated LGBT haven. Okay, a lot of other members of the LGBT community live there and work there, have businesses there, and they're very friendly to the trans people that attend this conference. They go out on the ocean and look for whales and all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. All right, I got to change papers here. How am I doing, buddy? How am I doing? New York Coming Out is on October 30th through November 3rd of this year. And can you guess where that one is? It's in the Big Apple, New York City. The Lake Erie Gala, I never knew about this until just recently when I was researching these things for this video. November 14th through the 18th, 2019, in Erie, Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania's got the Keystone Conference, and they got this one, Lake Erie Gala, and it's a big social event, okay? And a lot of my friends from the East Coast and the Eastern United States are talking about going to that one. So maybe I'll go to that one. And also periodically throughout the year at different times, and I don't have the dates, but it would behoove you to look this up, okay? tgdetroit.com. tgdetroit.com hosts the Detroit Invasions, and the lady that's the head of tgdetroit.com, Samantha is her name. She is a force. She's a force of nature, okay? She's a real badass, and she has done a really great job, along with all of her volunteers, of putting together these parties for trans people and cross-dressers to eat and drink and be merry in Detroit. And this year they had a more like a conference called the Transfusion. So she's working on having a transfusion once a year, which is going to be a bigger deal than her Detroit Invasions, which are a little more just like a party. Anyway, check her out. Check her out. A lot of my friends go there and they come back with smiles on their face that they can't get off, like the Joker. And it takes a long time for them to calm down after a Detroit invasion. Talked before about the cruises, Free to Be She. They're going to be doing one on September 9th. You should check her out at crossdresstravel.com and get on one of them ships. They're also going to have one on October 27th, a Halloween cruise with Carnival Cruises. And in February 9th of 2020, they're going to be doing a Valentine cruise with Carnival again. And she is also, Jennifer Pink is the gal that can book you on one of these cruises. And she also heads a podcast called Crossdress Radio Network. And I've been on the podcast. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Couldn't sit here for 5 more minutes. She's on she heads this podcast where they talk about all things trans and cross-dressing. And I'm going to be on it again on October 30th of this year, 2019. And you can access that podcast through the Crossdress Radio Network. And we're going to be on, I think it's on iHeartRadio has it now. It's going to be on iHeartRadio. Well, that just about wraps it up for me. You know, I wasn't sure about doing a video like this, you know, just running all these names and numbers past you, but someone told me that people like to hear about this stuff from someone that they trust, or someone that's been there, and I think you guys trust me, and I don't think you could do wrong. Now, you can investigate all of these things. You can find these people on Facebook. You can look at their websites, and you can look at prices, and they all have different pricing structures. You can a la carte these things. You don't have to go for the whole 4 days or 5 days. You could go for one night if you wanted to. You can they'll usually have a group rate on a hotel, wherever they're basing their convention. You'd be able to get a good price on a hotel room. And I think that you should go. Pick one. They're all over the country. You can find one, and if you can't afford it, look into their scholarship programs that a lot of them have. The bigger ones have scholarship programs. Check into those. See if you can get a scholarship to go. And I hope to see you there. Love and peace all. Let's just try to accept one another for who they are.